Hey, I'm Gonzo. This is Dungeon Class, and today I want to talk to you about how Tasha's Cauldron of Everything may have broken Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for good. This is a very personal video for me, and I wanted to share something that's been bothering me for quite a while. And I want to do it in a way where we can communicate, especially through the comments below, on how you feel about some of the things I want to talk about. And I really encourage you to get back to us and let us know your thoughts. Also, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because we're growing this community quickly and we really enjoy Dungeons & Dragons, and we know you can as well. Let's get right down to it. There are some things going on within the Dungeons & Dragons community, especially online, that I'm just not happy with, that I don't enjoy, that I don't find fun or add to the game. And I want to talk about those with you today. Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and its millions of fans are in real danger of losing this game for good. I really feel that. Let me explain. Over the years, there has been an ongoing edition wars, dialogue, and banter as the game has continued to change and evolve over time. As we went from red box to first edition to second to third, 3.5, fourth, and fifth, there have been people that have continued to play those editions, and there's always been some banter between them on how well they love their edition and what they don't like about the other. That's been the case since I've been playing D&D, which is, unfortunately, I'm pretty old, so from the beginning. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons went to second edition. They took out the demons and the devils because of the satanic panic. There was changes there. Then we went to third edition, where the D20 system opened up the game for third-party publishers to really add a lot. The game got very big. There was a lot of supplements to it, and it got a little bit cumbersome with the amount of rules that were involved. But there was a lot of people enjoying that version of the game. Fourth edition came out. We'll skip past that pretty quick, and then fifth edition has come out. And every edition had found its group of fans that enjoyed playing that edition. And the one thing that was constant was there was always someone from AD&D or 5th edition or whatever saying how theirs was better than the other. That's pretty natural, and I'm okay with that. You see, Dungeons & Dragons fans are just that. We're fans. Fans is short for fanatics, and there's a lot of us that are fanatics. We love this game. We're passionate about it. We spend a lot of our creative time and energy into this game. And because of that, we have strong opinions about it. We'll use this energy to create amazing characters with intense and sometimes complicated backgrounds. We'll take these characters on adventures with other characters that were created by people around us. We're excited when they open the treasure chest to see what kind of gold and magic items they found. We curse when we open the chest and find out it's a mimic that begins attacking us and we don't have any treasure. We celebrate when we defeat that mimic and we find a ring of dragon summoning. Man, we can imagine the amount of quest and gold and magic items that dragon will give us when we summon him. And we generally cry when the dragon becomes a red dragon and enraged and comes and eats the whole party in one fell swoop. This is Dungeons & Dragons. It goes every direction all at once sometimes, and we love it for that. But something has changed. Since the release of this book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the dialogue, the banter between editionists and those who like 5th edition versus 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever, has really increased in a negative way. There are a growing number of D&D hobbyists who are spending a lot of time, maybe more time than they should, trying to destroy, to make fun of, to downright discount the way others are playing the game. And this is coming from both ends of the spectrum. This is coming from people who play 1st edition all the way to 5th edition players. This social media barrage, and then generally it's found in social media, whether it's Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, in the comments, anywhere you find it, has continued to spiral down to a point where it has gone from constructive criticism or maybe bragging about what you enjoy to just outright filth being thrown at each other. We are making memes. They're throwing insults and calling each other names and just saying that the way you're playing is wrong. This continued barrage of crud being thrown at each other, it comes from both sides. No one is blameless. D&D has been around for almost 50 years. I've been around for almost 50 years with 5 official editions and many other supplements in between. We had the Red Box and First Edition and then Advanced Dungeons & Dragons and Second and Third, 3.5, Fourth, Fifth, and eventually we may even have a 6th one day. This will not change. What's more, there are thousands of other add-ons and supplements and things created by fans like you and me that are put in Drive-Through RPG or online on Reddit or somewhere else where we can gather ideas that are made and use them in our game. These are more options that are available to us. This will not change. The game will continue to evolve. There will be more additions. The game will continue to change. It's just the nature of the beast. Wizards of the Coast, the current owner of the product, is in the business of making money. They're a business. And the way that they make money is by selling product. And if the game becomes stale or people are not as interested in it anymore, if it becomes too overburdened with too many supplements, see 3rd edition, if it just doesn't mimic what they wanted it to mimic, see 4th edition, like World of Warcraft kind of scenario, they're going to change it. They're going to make something different. They're going to make more options. That's their business, and that's okay. And what it also is okay is if you're currently playing and loving 5th edition, like I am and maybe you are, you may want to stay with 5th edition. You may say, I don't need another edition. I'm good with what I'm playing. I really enjoy it. That's great. But what's not great is those that do move on to the next edition of the game. Those that come into the game when a new edition comes out are being told that they're not playing the game correctly, that they're not enjoying it the way they should because this is the one, 5th edition is the way to go, or 3rd edition, or 1st edition. That's not okay. What is okay, though, is to think that your edition is the best, because for you and your group that you're playing with, whether it's 1st or 3rd edition or 4th edition or whatever rule set you're playing with, that is the best for you and your group because you're enjoying it. And if you're enjoying it, then don't change. You don't have to. What's not okay is to criticize those that play a different edition or move on to the next one. I want to share with you a quote from the 1st edition Player's Handbook. This is from 1974. Enjoy the game, and always bear in mind that it is a fantasy. Magical worlds have a strange way of differing, but while yours may not quite be the same as the one described here in this book, it is ripe for adventure and plunder. Cleverness and imagination, along with a bit of luck, will always prevail. Here's another quote I'll read to you from the Dungeon Master's Guide version 3.5. The power of creating worlds, controlling deities, and dragons leading entire nations, all this is in your hands. You are the master of your game, the rules, the setting, the action, and ultimately the fun. And here's a quote from the Player's Handbook for 5th edition that came out in 2014. Above all else, D&D is yours. The friendships you make around the table will be unique to you. The adventures you embark on, the characters you create, the memories you make, these will be yours. D&D is your personal corner of the universe, a place where you have free reign to do as you wish. As you can see, the creators of Dungeons & Dragons from its inception had always envisioned you creating the game or making the game your own at your table with your group that you play with, using their rules as light guidelines to help keep the game balanced in some way. This is how D&D has been played from the beginning. From the inception of this game, it was clearly evident that the rules as they were important, but ultimately necessarily adjustable to the people and the format of the groups that you're playing with. With tournament play to Adventures League, to playing at game stores, to playing a long-standing campaign with your family at home. The Dungeon Masters will adjust the rules to fit their group. That's important. The Edition Wars, quote-unquote, that is no different. Those that enjoy the grittiness of 1st edition or nostalgia of 1st edition, the players who love the multitude of characters found in 3rd edition and the spells that were available, those that enjoy 5th edition and the story-driven, super heroic characters that you can create with 5th edition, they have the right to enjoy and introduce others to their game. But if we continue on this path of social media and cultural destruction of each other within the entire D&D community, we may lose this game. When we introduce others to the game of Dungeons and Dragons, this is not what we want them to see. When they first come in, if they get on a Facebook group or they get in, on a Twitter or YouTube video and they see all this fighting back and forth, this would only drive people away eventually. It's not a very welcoming atmosphere. They would be confused, I would think. And I have spent a lot of time, Mark and I, in dungeon class in general, Logan, we spent a lot of time teaching others to play the game and run their own games. I know that my sons have started in both their colleges, have started D&D groups where others have taken the mantle of a dungeon master and are now playing on their own. And that's how the game works. That's how it spreads. And we enjoy it. But man, when you come in and find some of the things you can find quickly, when you're just looking for character ideas or different way to a DM tip on how to do something better as a dungeon master, and you find this filth being thrown at each other, that negativity can drive people away from the game, ultimately driving Wizards of the Coast to either make changes or to go out of business. You never know. The criticizing of others, the judgment that's being thrown at each other, this ultimately distracts from the best part of Dungeons and Dragons. And I told you this is personal to me. It really is. The best part of D&D to me is the ability to sit down with other people and enjoy their time with them and seeing them come out of different shells and different personality traits that they may have and expand their creativity in ways that you never would imagine. Playing together as a group is the best part of D&D, whether it's online or sitting next to each other, pre-COVID and after COVID. That really is the most fun you can have, playing this game. And that can be lost with all the negativity that's being thrown around. I enjoy the game of football. I love football. My favorite team are the Miami Dolphins. Growing up here in Florida, I love Dan Marino. I love the Dolphins and have been following them ever since I was a kid. Though I love the Dolphins, I can appreciate Tom Brady, who was our arch enemies with New England, and his success and his longevity and what he's accomplished in his career, including winning the Super Bowl this year in Tampa. I watch college football. I love high school football. Football is football, and I enjoy the sport. But I do have, one particular team that I really like. Dungeons and Dragons is very similar. It's all D&D, from first edition or an original chainmail game that Gary Gygax started with to 5th edition and beyond. This is all Dungeons and Dragons. The best way to grow the game and to grow the edition that we enjoy is to share it with others, invite them to our tables, teach them how to play, to give them tips on making good players or even becoming dungeon masters. And also maybe trying something new yourself. Maybe you would enjoy rolling up a character stat by stat with only 3d6s, and whatever comes up is what your stats are, and then creating a character. Maybe you enjoy first edition, the grittiness of it, and having a magic user with only 4 hit points at first level. Or maybe you enjoy playing a dragonborn bard for the first time and in a really fantastical location and different, with different abilities that keep upgrading quickly. Whatever you enjoy, the best way to share it with others is to invite them to your table. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything has done what every other supplemental book that's been released from Dungeons & Dragons has ever done, and that's provide us with more options. Yes, they do have options where you can change your subclass, or you can change the skills that you may have, or even the languages that you learned. They do have ability modifiers being able to be changed and not class or race dependent. Those things may or may not fit in your game style. That's okay. They're just options that you can or cannot use. It's up to you. That's the beauty of Dungeons and Dragons. My sincere hope, and this is I really feel this, my sincere hope is that we can all strive to uplift each other, to go ahead and brag about what you're doing and how you're playing and what you enjoy, but not look for ways to tear each other down. Look for ways to include each other, expand of ourselves. Let's continue to grow the game. Let's also have an understanding of its past and its future, its current state and its possible future. And let's allow the attacking and the defending to be determined by dice rolls and not by the things that we type on a keyboard. With that, class dismissed.